Now, guys, if you watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 3 finale of the reunion on Tuesday, you saw we got a glimpse that Real Housewives of Miami is coming back. They did a teaser like during a commercial, just like 15 seconds of the ladies dancing in like pink silhouettes. I cannot wait. Miami is returning. Now, I heard it is coming back in June. We will probably get the trailer very soon. When, I don't know. But at least they're giving us the signs that Miami is coming back, and I'm here for it because Miami is on fire, as Adriana says. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another episode. It's me, Larry. I missed you guys last week, and I'm so sorry there wasn't an episode. That was a scheduling problem on my end, but we are back, so I hope you guys have had a good couple of weeks. So much has happened that we aren't even going to talk about some of the stuff that occurred last week because it's just old news at this point. But there's also still so much that happened over the past week that we have to get into. The Valley is back with season 2. They had an epic premiere. It was so good. We're going to get into the premiere episode. We're going to talk about Summer House. We are going to talk about some hot topics. We got a charmer that left Southern Charm, and they're just about to start filming. So let's just get right into it. Let's head on over to the Valley and talk about last night's premiere. All right, guys, the Valley is back, baby. I am so excited that these people are back on our TV screens. Like, for those of you who were like so hesitant for this show even coming out, like not wanting to see some Vanderpump Rules people on there, not wanting to see new people, like, I hope you're eating your words because this show is top notch. It's probably the best show on Bravo right now aside from Summer House. I know there's not much on right now, but it is just so good. We got the season 2 premiere. We got the entire cast back. There were no cast changes made, and they wasted no time getting right into it. The messiness with Jax and Brittany. We got drama going on between Jesse and Michelle. We got drama going on between Janet, Kristen, and Zach. I mean, the amount of drama, like, the limit does not exist. Like, they are not going to disappoint. I saw a tweet from someone that said that they had heard Jax Taylor say that the first 2 to 3 episodes are going to be like a bad look for him. And Zach had commented and replied back to that tweet like, and so on and so forth, meaning the entire season is going to look bad for him. And let me tell you, I couldn't agree more based off of like stuff that we've seen come out like in the press, based off of like just obviously Jax did a podcast with Alex Baskin on the Bravo's Hot Mic. He was talking about how tough the season was. Brittany also did the same podcast and talked about how tough this season is. Like, it's just, we're in for a whirlwind, and I literally am just going to buckle up and enjoy the freaking ride. Now, again, the premiere, in my opinion, was amazing. I had put a post out asking for all of your thoughts and opinions on the premiere episode, and I think you guys all pretty much agreed with me. I didn't really see too much hate on there, which is good. Because the comments lately, guys, the comments they just haven't been the vibe. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so we start off kind of meeting up with everybody on the cast. So we start off with Jesse talking about how him and Michelle have been separated, and he says co-parenting is just going awful because they fight about everything. Now, we then cut to Janet and Jason, and they now have their baby. And listen, that was enough. The thought of having children has always crossed my mind, but then I always see people with kids, and I'm like, why would I want to, like, put myself through that? And she tells a story when they're talking about, like, their life in the beginning of the episode where like she had to take like a snot sucker and suck out the baby's snot, and she didn't have the filter on it, so it just went right up the tube and into her mouth. I literally gagged. And that was enough right there for me to reassure myself that I'm happy with my nephews. I don't need children of my own. No, thank you. We then get a quick shot over to Kristen and Luke, and they're talking about what they can do to improve their chances of getting pregnant. And we get a moment in there where Kristen is talking about how Janet is dead to her. Like, it's just, these are just all quick moments kind of at the beginning of the episode within the first couple of minutes that we get to see just like a quick reconnect with the cast. We get Jasmine and her girlfriend, now fiance, Melissa, talking about what their next steps in their relationship are going to be. And I love those moments, especially for it being a season premiere where we get to see those quick little like intimate moments between them to kind of like just get us reconnected with who's on the cast. But the first big scene that we did have was when Jesse did go over to Jax's house, and they talk about how Jax is doing. Because obviously if you watch in the first like 40 seconds of the intro to the season, we see that like it is not, Jax is not doing well. Obviously we've seen in the news he did come out with admitting that he does have a cocaine addiction. And we obviously know that he did a stint in rehab like a couple of months ago, I want to say. It's just like, there's a lot going on in his life. So they started off with the kind of like dramatics of Jax really like needing help. So we get Jesse going over to his house to talk to him. And Jax talks about how him and Brittany have been separated for 9 months and that it's not going well. Jax got upset because he says that they were messing around with the idea of Brittany coming back home and them working on their marriage. And Jax says, okay. And then he found out that she was still kind of messaging or sexting this Julian guy that was apparently Jax's good friend for about a year. Now, that caused him to freak out, and he threw the coffee table and like just threw like a huge fit. The coffee table hit Brittany's leg, and he just freaked out, saying she was planning on moving back into my home. Now, let me tell you something. That kind of like triggered me for like a brief moment, because I was like, damn, like he's not even referring it to like it being their house. He's like referring to her coming back to my home. Like, I'm sorry, sir, but your wife and your child are in Airbnb. Now, I believe that they did say somewhere the reason for it being Brittany and Cruz that had decided to leave. I believe that was a decision that Brittany had made, but I just don't understand. Like, and I think a lot of people agree that it really does make more sense if Brittany was the one to stay in the home, so Cruz didn't really have like a disruption in like his environment, like his home life. But who's to say? We know that Brittany moved out when this was all going down. Now, Jax does continue to say that he knows what he did was wrong, but show him a guy that wouldn't act or react the same way that he did. And it really did like get me thinking that he really thinks that the way that he reacts to situations are normal, and they just definitely are not. Like, he really fucking flies off the handle and just says shit, not even like thinking how it would like affect a person that he's talking about. And it's freaking crazy. But you know what? It makes for great television. And I saw a comment that someone had written on one of my posts that had said like, hate him as much as you want, but he makes a great villain for reality television. And we kind of get an eye into that, because at the same time that Jax is talking to Jesse, Brittany is also talking to Michelle, which is Jesse's ex-wife. And Brittany had made a comment that Jax really says like, oh, I'm Jax Taylor. Like, I can do what I want. Like, I mean, yeah, you're like reality TV famous, but like, you're not fucking Tom Cruise, sir. Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're not some A-lister where you can just think you can get away with everything. Because I'm pretty sure those people don't even think that they can get away with everything. Not, well, some of them, maybe not all of them. But it was just a lot. So, and then they just get into their like back and forth conversation. Now, Jesse and Michelle are talking to Jax and Brittany. Now, aside from them talking about the Jax and Brittany situation, Jesse's telling Jax and Michelle's telling Brittany that about their new relationships and how they're so happy because they're so different from when Jesse and Michelle were together. Like, it's just, I mean, yeah, like you guys, well, at least Michelle hated Jesse. Like, I think Jesse did, like, you can tell, like, he didn't want, like, his marriage to end, but Michelle was so checked out. Of course she's going to be so happy in a new relationship, but it was just like interesting to see them both be like, yes, like, this relationship is just so much better than, like, Michelle or so much better than Jesse. Now, what I do want to say, and I thought that this was interesting, is Michelle is talking about how her new boyfriend, Aaron, she met him a couple years ago. And that they would casually run into each other, like, on a hike or at a coffee shop. And that just seems a little sus, right? So obviously we know that last season, Kristen threw, like, this huge fit during an argument and saying that, like, Michelle's had a boyfriend for over a year, blah, 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 blah. And, like, the timelines for this is kind of, like, adding up. So I'm assuming that the person Kristen was talking about in season 1 is Aaron, which is Michelle's new boyfriend. And Jesse even made a comment about it later on in the episode where he had said, like, I'm not going to be okay with the fact if this is the man that broke up my marriage, like, if she was cheating on me with him. Now, I just thought it was weird. Like, how do you meet someone randomly and you guys just casually bump into each other on a hike, or you just casually see him at a coffee shop? Like, it almost just sounds like maybe there was a little bit of infidelity going on and she's just not admitting it yet. Or maybe there's not. I don't know. I'm just coming at it as, like, from the point of a viewer. It looks a little sus on Michelle's, like, side of everything. The way that this, like, it's all coming out. And I wonder if she was, like, watching the premiere and thought to herself, maybe, like, damn, like, I shouldn't have said it that way, or I shouldn't have said that at all, because now people are, like, talking about it. And we're going to continue to talk about it because they just don't think that it's, like, done. It's not done and over. Like, this man, her boyfriend obviously has filmed with her this season. We see him in a couple of scenes, obviously at the end of the episode at Brittany's white party. So I think that this is just going to be a big topic of discussion between Jesse and Michelle and maybe other cast members as the season moves forward. Now, we do get another scene where Zach and Kristen and Nia meet up for drinks, and now they're talking about Janet and how, like, they don't like her. And this is more so, like, Zach and Kristen talking about this, and Nia's just kind of there, like, listening and maybe inserting, like, a couple of things here and there. Zach seems to be, like, really upset that Brittany's friendship with Janet is coming in between Zach and Brittany. And I don't know, like, I just feel like you got to have a little bit more thicker skin and let your friends be friends with other people before, like, you just assume that maybe that it's something like that could come between, like, another friendship. If you guys also don't know, Zach and Brittany do go back, like, a very long way. I believe they grew up together in Kentucky. Like, he's her friend from Kentucky. And when she moved to LA to be on Vanderpump Rules, Zach then also moved to LA, like, to kind of, like, follow her, because they are so close. So that is a long-standing friendship there. They're not just friends, like, because of the show or whatnot. You've obviously seen Zach on Vanderpump Rules in seasons past, but and listen, this man cannot stand Janet. Now, which I'm actually surprised, because I've seen a lot of people online talking about Janet and, like, how they don't like her on the show. I love Janet. I am a Janet fan. Listen, I'm a fan of all of them. The only one that, like, I really don't care about is maybe Michelle. But, like, that's even, like, pushing it, because I still like the dynamic and like the drama that goes on between her and Jesse. Like there isn't one person on the cast that like I'm not a fan of. And that happens to me with like a lot of shows. I really like almost everyone on the show, so they all bring something different. I mean, of course, there are like least favorites. There are some that I just like do not like. And if you've listened to the podcast in the past, you know, like there's maybe like a housewife or two that I'm just not fond of. But I'll never like talk shit about them. You know what I mean? Like maybe it'll come up in conversation. It's like, oh, who's your least favorite housewife? And I'll say something, but like that's about it. Like I don't ever post negatively about anybody anyway. I always keep it positive over there. But Kristen then gets mad and she's talking while they're sitting there having drinks, and she is mad because Kristen is now getting lumped in with Zach into his drama with Janet. Now, Janet went on to friend of the pod, Gabbing with Gibson Johns, his podcast, and Janet said that Zach had said something along the lines of him wishing or not really caring if her pregnancy went full term or if she miscarried or something like that, which is like an absolutely insane thing to say, especially somebody who's on television. I don't know if there was like any proof of that. I don't remember that being said last season or like that coming up. So I don't know if maybe it was just like word of mouth, but it's like an absolutely insane thing to say. But Kristen listened to this podcast. She heard about it. She was not fond of what Janet said, especially lumping her in with Zach. They get into that a little bit later, but this is where they kind of bring that part up in the show while Kristen, Zach, and Nia are having drinks. Now, I will say, guys, this is a first that I have seen on what a real apology on reality television should look like. Jesse had invited Kristen over to his house because he was going to apologize to her. He had her over for some wine, and he was ready to apologize to her. Now, he does say, I wrote his apology down. He does say that she was right about almost everything that she had said last season, and that she didn't deserve to have his feelings projected on to her, and that he's taking full accountability and he apologizes from the bottom of his heart. Now, when I tell you, like, people take note, like, watch this scene. It was a top tier, like, apology, how an apology should be done. Like, kudos to Jesse. And Kristen even said, like, she had a moment where she feels validated because she's not a liar and people should believe her when she says things. And I just loved it overall. The fact that they were able to just have that moment, get over it, and now they're going to be able to hopefully move past it and have a good season together. At the end of that, Kristen was like, or Jesse was saying, like, people are going to start choosing teams now. It's going to be Team Jesse. It's going to be Team Michelle. And Kristen was like, I'm Team Jesse, obviously. Like, who would have thought that? I wouldn't have thought that. Last season, I thought that they were going to off each other with how, like, much they were going after each other. But just want to give props where props are due. That was an A+ apology, Jesse. And again, Kristen was definitely vindicated in that moment. So I love to see it. There is a scene next where Danny and Nia are getting together and they talk about having another child. And it was funny because Danny did look at Nia and he's like, you're leg locking me. She's like, no, I am. Like, she wants another baby so bad, it seems like. And Danny is talking about how, like, he wants his son to have, like, his own room. Like, the kids are sharing a room right now, it seems like. They're bursting at the seams. And they have stuff like in a storage unit. And he brings up, again, if you watch season 1, you know this man is ready to move to Santa Clarita. Now, I don't know how far away Santa Clarita is. I did a Google search. Google Maps says from the Valley to Santa Clarita, it's like 25 minutes, but that could also be like 2 hours in LA traffic. So I have no clue how far away it is actually. But Nia doesn't want to go to Santa Clarita. She wants to stay where she is, around her friends, where there's like life. I don't know. No offense to Santa Clarita people, but like it just sounds like country. I don't know. I'm not from California, but she does not want to move there. And the way he said it too was funny. He's like, hey, have you ever heard of Santa Clarita? Like, and they do the flashback of how many times he mentioned it last season. But as we know, they are on to having their 4th kid. They just did an exclusive with People where they posted something in regards to like a party that they had before the baby number 4 arrives. So at this point, I think they're going to need to start looking to move because 4 kids and the 2 of them in wherever they're living now, and they're already bursting at the seams with 3 kids and the 2 of them. They're going to need more space. So, I mean, listen, Santa Clarita may be in Nia's future. I'm sorry, girl. I know you don't want to move there, but it's like he thinks that he can get the mansion that he's always wanted in Santa Clarita. And listen, I can imagine that maybe properties are less than what they are in LA. I mean, $1 million in LA will probably get you like a shack. Like well, from what I've seen, like you don't get much like for that amount of money. So you probably get more bang for your buck out there. And that makes so much sense, especially because they have a growing family. You want to obviously have a home where they can have a yard and like do all that stuff because expenses are going to be coming in the future for other things, school, etc., etc. But Santa Clarita may be on the horizon for both of them. Danny will be happy about it. Nia definitely will not. Guys, Brittany threw a white party, and listen, I don't love a theme. I talked about this on an episode before. Like, just let people show up the way that they want to show up. Like, yes, obviously, like, dress up a little, but white is like, it doesn't look good on anyone unless you're tan. You get dirty easily. Like, it's just, I don't really care for it. Like, I don't like, it's not even, it's just the theme part of it. So, but everyone looked great. She threw the white party. Jax was not invited to the white party. So the entire gang is going. Obviously, all the ladies are friends with Brittany, so they're going to drag their husbands to Brittany's party. Well, Jax finds out that he's not invited to the white party and is upset about it. So what does Jax decide to do? Jax decides to throw a rival party at Jax's in Studio City. Now, Jax goes to his party, and who's there? There's like 4 dudes. It's Bart, Tom Schwartz is one of the triplets, and like 3 other dudes. And then Tom Schwartz shows up. And 2 of the dudes look like they were members of Tom Sandoval's cover band. I feel like I've seen them in videos, which is so strange. And I'm just like, did you call the B team? Like, who are these people that you're hanging out with? You should have just hung out with Bart and Tom Schwartz. But who am I to judge? He wanted to have he was feeling down. He wasn't invited to his wife's soiree, and he wanted to get together with the guys. And he did get upset because he's like, I know that they're all going to get together and they're all going to talk shit about me. And that's because Brittany thinks I'm like the worst person in the world. And he's like, come on, like the worst person in the world. And listen, I don't even think the producers believed him because the producer was like, in his confessional, was like, well, you did go on House of Villains. And he even tried to defend that by saying, well, I was kicked off in 5 seconds, so I'm not the worst. Like, if there's one thing that Jax is going to do, it's going to be to, like, defend himself until the ends of the earth and make excuses for anything that he does. We all know it. We've seen it for the last 12 years. Like, it's hard to believe. I mean, if you believe anything that he says, you're, like, crazy. Now, listen, don't get me wrong. I like Jax on reality TV. I've hung out with Jax at an event that I went to in Atlantic City, and he was so much fun. But on TV, it's just like a little bit different. I also don't know him like that, but regardless, he's always defending himself, and you can't believe a word that comes out of his mouth. So Jax pulls Tom Schwartz aside, and he is talking to Schwartz, like, about his problems. And Schwartz tells Jax, he's like, listen, Jax, like, you're headed to rock bottom with, like, your recent behavior, and you need to do something to, like, fix what's going on, whether it be therapy or, like, some sort of help, because, like, the way you're acting, there's no excuse for it. I'm like, okay, Tom Schwartz, like, coming in clutch as like a good friend, which again, I think Tom Schwartz is a great friend to these guys blindly, because some of the stuff they do is so fucking insane, but they've known each other for so long, so he's just like blindly loyal to them. But I like that he's being honest with them. I also was not mad seeing Tom Schwartz back on my television screen. A lot of people were like, oh my God, why do we gotta have Schwartz, Lala, and Sheena on this season? Like, if they pop in for moments like that, like, I don't care. That does not bother me. Like, I enjoy Tom. I've always loved Tom Schwartz. Don't at me. It is what it is. But I liked the conversation that he did have with Jax and just how honest he was about, like, his behavior. Because his behavior is atrocious. Like, flipping a coffee table and it hit, like, Brittany's knee, and, like, you're lucky Cruz didn't see that, but, like, you said he wasn't there to see it, but he was in another room, so maybe he heard it. Like, it's all too much. It's all too much, but whatever. There's, like, a party going on this rooftop for Brittany's white party. Everyone looks great. Brittany walks in with, like, this wet hair look, and if someone was like, ooh, Brittany, the wet look, and she's like, yeah, it's lube. Like, she is on the prowl. You can tell. There were so many moments in, like, this episode alone where she was like, are you single? Like, da-da-da-da-da, like, she's talking about the Julian, sending him sexy videos. Now she's talking about her hair being wet and looking like lube. I'm loving this journey for Brittany. She deserves it. Let her have some fun, all this stuff. Now, one of my favorite moments in this entire premiere was kind of towards the end. Before I get there was a moment between Janet and Kristen, because Janet did say that she missed Kristen and the friendship and the good times that they had in the past. She pulled her aside and, like, talked to her briefly. It didn't go anywhere because Kristen didn't feel like her apology was genuine. She was just lumping Zach back into, like, she was just lumping her and Zach into, like, drama that Kristen had no, like, issue being a part of. As of right now, it doesn't look like they're going anywhere. Who knows what'll happen as the season progresses. You know, if you watch the trailer, I think Kristen calls Janet a fan. So they seem to be on, like, different pages. But I digress. If anything comes of it, we'll talk about it as the season goes on. One of my favorite moments, though, was towards the end of Brittany's white party. Jesse and Michelle are talking, and Michelle brings up to Jesse that she met with someone that is, like, a really big person in getting kids into schools in that area. And that, like, must have hit a button for Jesse, because he was like, how are you meeting with someone to discuss the future of our child's education without me? And he was like, what if I want to move to Orange County? And Michelle's like, you're not moving to Orange County. And he's like, well, yeah, I might. I've been thinking about it. And she was like, Isabella is not leaving Los Angeles. I live here. She's been going to school here. Like, it's not happening. It flipped a switch on her. It pissed her off so much. But what I loved was one of the producers asking Jesse, like, did you bring this up to, like, get a rise out of Michelle? And Jesse was like, yeah. And that is why that man is made for reality television, because even at the beginning of the episode, he was like, bring on the chaos. And the Valley is back, guys. I mean, they then proceeded to go on with what's going to happen, like, throughout the season, and the drama looks freaking amazing. I'm here for all of it. I can't wait to hear what you guys think about it also. 10 out of 10 premiere to the cast of The Valley. And I can't wait to watch next week. But we're leaving California. We're leaving the Valley. We're going over to the Hamptons. So let's go. All right, guys. Summer House. Last night's episode was so freaking good. I loved it. There was so many little things that happened. We obviously started off the episode with a continuation of the conversation that Paige and Sierra had last week. And Paige just says, like, she just feels so guilty because she has and she just feels so guilty because she should be happier than what she is, because she has everything that she has ever wanted. But she's just, like, for some reason still not happy. Sierra is really being such a good friend and, like, sitting there listening to her. And Paige is saying how she really just wants to, like, run away and change her name. Sierra tells her, like, girl, I can arrange that for you. And that is a true friend. I love the way that the girls are with each other this season, especially Lindsay being in with all of them. It just is like, the Summer House girls are like a force to be reckoned with. They've been in the news all week long. They were in an article in Vulture. Like, it was just like, Summer House is about the girls, is essentially what the article was about. So I love seeing these moments, especially with Sierra supporting Paige. Obviously, Sierra knows the ins and outs of what's going on in their relationship, so she knows more of how Paige is feeling to kind of talk to her through, like, her feelings about this. But I love to see it. Also, what I do love is that after they go to this, like, day party thing, they all go to the club. It's Lindsay's birthday, and Lindsay is just like, I am at a club with my ex-fiance while I'm pregnant with my new boyfriend's baby. Like, it is just so crazy. It is so awkward. It's gotta be for them. But the way that they are working through it to do their job and be on the show, like, chef's kiss. We've only seen one little kind of, like, thing, like, moments of, like, tension between them when it came to the Lil thing. I don't know if we're going to get any more out of it, but I do love to see it. Like, they are doing such a good job of, like, working together and, like, living in the house, coexisting, going out, all of that. There are moments when I do feel like they don't even acknowledge each other, but there is no need for them to. The entire audience knows what's going on with them. Obviously, everyone in the house knows what's going on with them, so no one is going to force them to have a conversation or kind of acknowledge each other if they feel they don't have to. In the episode, Carl did say that at the club, Lindsay did go up to him and just say, like, listen, I know it's a hard day for you, but I like the way that you handled yourself about it. Like, just acknowledging, like, the anniversary of his brother's passing. She's not the devil. Of course she'll acknowledge it. She's been in this man's life overall for 10 plus years. So it's not like she's some demon woman that's going to be, like, icing him out on one of the saddest days of his life. But I did love to see, like, those little moments as well. And I just like that they're making it work as best as possible. And we'll see what the future holds for it, if she decides to come back next season or if he does. I mean, obviously we know it's now the middle of April. We probably have about, like, maybe a little under 2.5 months before the cast goes out to film again. So are there going to be cast changes? I definitely think so, but I don't know. We're going to have to wait and see. And who even knows when we'll get those announcements, because they don't even tell us about new cast members until, like, after filming. But I think it'll be noticeable because obviously the Hamptons, Summer House is such a big show. Like, we'll obviously get photos of the cast out filming. What I think they will do, obviously, is, like, ahead of the season beginning, cast not returning will make their statements like, I decided to not leave and return for the next season. And I wouldn't be surprised if we get a couple of those, but we'll see what happens. I'm, like, down to watch these people for another season. Should some people go? Yeah, but we'll see. Whatever the network decides, I will watch. I'm still going to watch. All right. So they obviously go back from the club. And this is where Paige's anxiety is really starting to kick in because she knows Craig is going to see the conversation that she had with Sierra. And she's like, Craig is going to kill me for that conversation. And Sierra was like, he's going to hate me too. Well, no worries about that, guys, because the breakup happened before the episode came out. So now I'm pretty sure they don't even really care what Craig thinks about what happened in the moment of that combo, but I'm sure the anxiety was through the roof because at that point they were still together, so she probably didn't know what direction her relationship was going to take as of yet. It was possible that he still would have seen the conversation between the two of them, but no worries anymore, girls. Now, listen, these editors, I love the editors so much because obviously we got Emeril in the house, right? He's in the house. Nothing we can do about it now. I don't really mind Emeril. I like him. I think he's bringing a fun hookup version to the show. But the editors are so funny because they're keeping track of the number of girls he brings home. So after he comes back from the club, it's just Emeril, friend number 5, and good for him. Good for him. He's getting laid from here to Sunday. And when he comes home with his friend, obviously they go back to his room together. Paige decides to sleep in Gabby's room by herself because she's having anxiety. She's scrolling her phone. She didn't want to be a bother to Sierra. But Emeril comes home with friend number 5 and they start hooking up. And she is making all the noises and Paige is like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. My anxiety levels through the roof and now I got to listen to this man have sex for 45 minutes. It's crazy. It really is. Now, listen, Summer House was built on getting drunk and hooking up, but I was a little surprised a little bit later in the episode when Sierra called Emeril out for this, where even Carl said, we've never had this many number of guests. I would have thought more would have come through those doors, but apparently not. And he's been there since day one, so he would know. But Emeril's out in those streets. He's out in those streets getting it in, which is absolutely insane. Now, what they need to do, if they go back to this house next season for Summer House, somebody fix that fucking door because it is driving me crazy. And it's got to be it's driving the cast crazy. So, I'm not even going to the house, but watching them struggle to get into that front door is driving me insane. It's driving me nuts. So the boys can't even get into the house. West, who looks fucked up, good for him, have out in the Hamptons having a good time. West and Kyle, they can't get into the house. But they're trying with all their might. I'm you're going to break the fucking door. Just chill out. You couldn't go around the back. You don't have your phone. You can't call Amanda or someone to come let you in. Instead, they're shaking the door so much it wakes up Lindsay, the poor pregnant woman upstairs whose birthday it is, who has to come downstairs and let your drunk asses in the house. And she's just looks groggy. She doesn't even know what's going on. And this is where we finally get our first scene of the season of drunk Carl snacking in the kitchen and not going to bed. He falls asleep sitting up in a chair. One of my favorite things about Summer House overall is Kyle snacking late night. It's just so funny because he talks to himself while he eats. I love it. I love it. But fix the door, please, if they're going back next season. Please, please, please fix the door. So it's the next morning. Paige wakes up. She's upset about the Emeril thing, talking to Sierra about it. And she's like, I could not take the fake moaning. She's like, I know a fake moan when I hear it. I couldn't take it. Meanwhile, Emeril's awake, trying to get his friend number 5's info for Instagram because he forgot to get her info from the night before. She can't find her shoes. All this stuff is going on in the morning. It's the morning of Lindsay's birthday brunch. It's chaos, all right? Now, Emeril comes into the kitchen while everyone is sitting in the kitchen and passes Paige. Paige is like, you need to get an STD check. And he was like, what? He's like, I use condoms. And she was like, how many people have you been with in the, like, since you've been here? Like, it's just, the way that everyone's making it sound is like, obviously, like, it's every episode. Like, I feel like a new girl's coming in. Every episode that he's been there, like, a new girl is coming in. But it was literally so funny. And Sierra's pissed too because when Emeril goes outside, she has a whole conversation with him about it. And she's going off and he's just saying like he is going to try to be mindful of the situation and he's just having fun. Now in Emeril's confessional, he does say that he's not sorry about it, that he is having a good time. And he did say that from the ages of 6 to 23, that he was undocumented and like in the shadows and that he is just living more freely right now. When I tell you, when he said, the way that it came off, I'm not even going to say it. I can't, because that's just it. But I got to skip it. I can't even say it. It's just too much. Let's go back to the city, because they leave the summer house. They leave the summer house. And Jesse has this American Cancer Society event with the Hope Lodge, like, in regards to him being cancer-free for so many years. And I love to see it. I love when Jesse talks about his cancer journey. It, like, shows a whole different side to him than the way he is, like, partying in the Hamptons. It just, like, I don't know. I love it. I love Jesse Solomon. So, like, I love seeing that whole other side to him. But what I did not like was when Sierra came to the event and she was talking to him. She might have just touched him while they were talking. And he goes, Sierra, enough with the touching. Now, was he serious? I don't think so. I didn't get a serious tone from him about that. I thought he was more so being jokingly, but I think he was saying it jokingly, but also kind of serious because Lexi was there. Because he did say well, I'm the one that got yelled at. And Lexi's Sierra's wait, really? She's like, wow, I can't even talk to my friend the way that I usually talk to him. I'm interested to see what's going to happen because the girls did meet up after that scene for drinks and food on the roof. And Sierra was telling the girls about what happened. And I think this is where the rift between Jesse, Sierra, and Lexi is going to start, is because of this moment and what happened. I wouldn't be surprised if Sierra says something about it and then that causes Lexi to say something to Jesse. I don't know. I'm making this up in my mind as to how I can see it going down. But you better believe we're going to talk about it. Because I love these Hamptons hotties so much. I can't quit them. But such a good episode. So much happened. We still have so much more to go this season. So if you saw yesterday, Bravo was selling tickets to a watch party by Bravo. If you guys haven't gone to any of the Bravo parties, go. There ain't no party like a Bravo party. They do it and they do it right. I believe it's sold out already though. But their watch party is on a Tuesday. And it's a watch party for the finale of Summer House. So Tuesday, May 20th. Summer House airs on Wednesday, so the 21st. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4 or 5 more episodes to go. So we still have a good chunk of time to go left in the season. And I can't wait. I love it. It's so good. All right, guys. Aside from the shows, The Valley and Summer House, we got some stuff to talk about real quick. Another Southern Charm star has decided to leave the show. Now, whether she quit, whether she got fired, she's not coming back. We all know that Bravo allows the talent to kind of approach their departation. Is that even a word? Departation? They're departing? Oh, you get what I'm saying. Bravo allows them to kind of do what they want and say what they want in regards to that. But Taylor Ann Green is no longer returning to Southern Charm. And they're due to start filming, I think, like this month. So soon, in the next couple of weeks. Now, listen, I love Taylor Ann Green, but I am not one... I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I thought this season was like her last season. Like you could tell she just didn't really have a spot on there with the group anymore. She's no longer dating Shep. Her boyfriend doesn't want to film. She doesn't like Sally. Like there were just too many components that were like, okay, like it's just maybe her time to exit. Now she is really good friends with the people over at Southern Hospitality. So will we see her over there throughout shows or like at events? I am sure. Her boyfriend is roommates with TJ, or was, like that when they met, Gaston and TJ were roommates. So Taylor and TJ are really good friends. So I'm sure we'll see her at some point. But Taylor Ann Green is such a joy. I love her. I have gotten to hang out with her a couple of times, and she's been nothing but a little baby angel to me. And I wish her nothing but the best. She has her new company of athleisure coming out, or that's already out, so go take a look at that. Taylor Ann Green, I love you, and just much success to what you got coming on in the future. It's gonna be bright for you. Now, guys, if you watched Real Housewives of Beverly Hills Part 3 finale of the reunion on Tuesday, you saw we got a glimpse that Real Housewives of Miami is coming back. They did a teaser like during a commercial, just like 15 seconds of the ladies dancing in like pink silhouettes. I cannot wait. Miami is returning. Now, I heard it is coming back in June. We will probably get the trailer very soon. When, I don't know. But at least they're giving us the signs that Miami is coming back, and I'm here for it because Miami is on fire, as Adriana says. But I can't wait. I've missed those ladies so much. I like just bring them all, put them all back on my screen. Like just release the season next week. I love it. Cannot wait for Miami. Other big news coming out of the Below Deck world. Below Deck Down Under Season 4 is filming, and they're filming with an Real Housewives of Salt Lake City crossover. And they have Daisy coming in as the chief stew, and they have a new chef, and it's Chef Ben. So Daisy and Chef Ben are joining Below Deck Down Under, so that's going to be exciting. So we'll probably get that end of next year, and I can't wait for that. I love me some Captain Jason and the whole Below Deck franchise. I'm super excited for that. And I have to end with giving the biggest shout out to our girls, Hannah and Paige, on the release of their book, How to Giggle. I am in the middle of it right now. I have the audiobook. I have a hard copy of the book as well, but I just would prefer to listen. So huge congratulations to them. They have been all over daytime television, podcasts, all the things. Paige was just in Glamour. They did a whole profile on her. You can catch that over on my Instagram. I have the link over there, as well as some snippets from the profile that they did on her. The girls are thriving. I love to see it, and they deserve all of the success. You guys know I love Giggly Squad and Paige and Hannah together and separately. So with that said, guys, I hope you enjoyed this episode. Make sure that you are rating, reviewing, subscribing, doing all the things. If you have a friend that likes Bravo, send them a link to the podcast and have them come and join the party. But until then, I will see you next week. Love ya. Bye.